What's up, guys? Welcome back to Airbnb ABCs. Very happy to have you guys here today because I recently stayed at a hotel. And if you guys are Airbnb or VRBO hosts, you have heard for the last probably 2 or more years on every single piece of social media from TikTok to YouTube, to Facebook, everywhere, that everyone is abandoning Airbnb. They're abandoning these short-term rental homes, and they're going to hotels because they simply offer more amenities. They're cheaper. They don't have any sort of check-in or check-out checklist. They are just better all around. And we have heard that, again, ad nauseum for the last 2 or 3 years. And so for the first time in a long time, I've actually gone someplace where I've had to stay in a hotel. We've been traveling with our son for baseball, and so we have been forced to stay in hotels because these are stay-to-play tournaments. That's a totally different racket that we can get off on a tangent on another day. But I stayed in one, and I stayed in a Hampton Inn, and it was a relatively nice hotel room. It was a double queen room, and it was me and my son only, and we were only there during the times between games. And it was a typical hotel room. 2 queen beds, a refrigerator, a small little coffee pot, 1 bathroom, the shower, and a view of the top of the carport roof and then the parking lot. So pretty much your average thing. It was clean. It was nice. It was good to stay in for the times that we had to be there to sleep in. However, when you're taking a vacation, you may want more things than that. You may want privacy of your own bedroom, especially if you're going to be going somewhere for like a week, especially if you are married with children. You may want to have some private time that you cannot get in a hotel room. You may want to have a couple of bathrooms so that the kids can go trash one and you guys can have the one that you have. You may want double king beds. You may want a view of something other than the parking lot. You may want a kitchen so that you do not have to either eat out all the time or pack food or do something. You may want to eat a healthier diet than you can get out for. For me, I would rather have my bacon and eggs in the morning, maybe do a pan cooked steak at night, something like that, to keep that protein level high and not be eating the crap that is out there in fast food. Those sorts of things are not possible with the hotel room. Some of the other amenities that I've heard people really pushing is the free breakfast, and that is the case. We did have the free breakfast there. It was adequate, I'm going to say. It wasn't great, but the scrambled eggs were decent. The bacon was paper thin, but it was decent. There was the waffle maker thing there, which again, I don't try to eat that sort of thing, but when it's there in front of me, a lot of times I'll eat it, and so that was nice. There was a pool as well. The only problem with the pool was that it reeked of chlorine. There was so much chlorine in the water that when you went in there, as soon as you hit that, your eyes were just like burned out of your head. And if you guys know anything about pools, there's free chlorine and combined chlorine. Free chlorine doesn't really smell. Combined chlorine is when it is eating up organics and things in the water. That's when it really smells. So not only is there a lot of chlorine in that water, there's also a lot of organics that have been put in there and is being eaten up by that chlorine. It was just really bad, the pool situation. But the biggest thing that folks have said, where they've said they're abandoning Airbnb for hotels, is in the price. They said Airbnbs have gotten absolutely outrageous, and in some cases, if you just compare a hotel room against any given Airbnb, you may think that the price is outrageous. The hotel room is typically going to be around like $150 to $300 a night, but you're probably going to get exactly what I just told you: to a couple beds, a bathroom, no privacy, a view of the parking lot. Whereas with an Airbnb or a VRBO or short-term rental, however you want to call them, you are getting all of the things that you get at home. You're getting privacy. You are getting room to spread out. So instead of just having one room that everyone's in, you may have a living room, you may have a game room, you may have various decks to go on, hot tubs, private pools, arcades, private bathrooms, all these things, and a kitchen. I keep failing to mention that, but you will also have a kitchen at all of these things. But when you look at the prices of hotel rooms right now versus the price of Airbnbs, especially where we were in the Cleveland area, they didn't even beat the Airbnbs on price. And I want to show you guys exactly what I was looking at with the exact place that I stayed. We're going to go over to the computer here and take a look at that. So right now we are looking at the exact place that I stayed. We're going to be comparing the exact same dates, and this is in the Cleveland area. This isn't a major vacation rental area. It's Cleveland, guys. I stayed at the Hampton Inn North Olmsted at the Cleveland Airport, and it was, again, it was relatively nice. And the room that I picked was this 2-queen bed room here, and it says it over here on the promotional price, $158 or $185 with taxes and fees. And this is another thing that we constantly hear people complaining about with the Airbnb, vrbo, short-term rentals, is that there is a price quoted and then the taxes and fees tremendously inflate that price. So look here at this $158 price, and then as we get into it, you'll see where things go from there. So you're like, all right, let's click on this, let's do it. And this is from the official website, not they're not tacking on third-party fees or anything like that. We'll click on this 2-queen beds, and you'll come in here to select a room because it just brings you to their website. And so you'll have the 2-queen beds with refrigerator, non-smoking. And honestly, that is exactly what the room looked like. It was, it was great as far as, was it clean and comfortable and such. However, when you get in here to actually select a rate, you'll notice that there are now many different rates instead of just the rate that was quoted. You can do this Hilton Sail Honors, and if you have this Honors membership that's required to do that, you can, I assume, get this price. Let's actually just go ahead and click on rate details here. And so for our 4-day stay, we are looking at about $738. So what is that? About $175 or so a night, just doing the math roughly in my head real quick. But let's say that you're not a membership, or you don't have a membership, and you want to pick one of these other ones. You want to pick maybe something that has a little bit of flexibility like an Airbnb reservation has with it. So we'll go down here to the semi-flexible amount, and we're going to look at the rate details. Now we've already come up to $190 something. We're going to look at the rate details here, and we're up to $888.43, or about what, $222 a night. And that's what we ended up paying, was $233 a night for the dates that we had, which obviously I'm sure that these changed based on market conditions, just like anything else. And you will see here that there is quite a bit of additional things tacked on. I assume that their taxes, we're looking at 17.5% on top of the room rate for the total taxes. So when we're looking at that, let's go look and see what there is in the Cleveland area for Airbnb. So if we just go right to Airbnb's website, and this would put you more in like downtown Cleveland if you want to be there, if you want to be right up against the river in the heart of things. We were again way out in North Olmsted, which is in this direction, but it would have been more convenient if we were right here in town. So let's see what we have for the exact same dates. We got the June 19th through the 23rd, 2 guests, and we're looking for 2 beds as well. And what you can see here is we have $660 for 4 nights. We have $603 for 4 nights. This one even over here at $809 is still, this is 3 beds. That's still going to be less than our $880 something. Now you do have to tack on tax, because for whatever reason Airbnb decided to do the price includes all fees except for tax. And they know your dates, they know where you're going to stay. Why don't they have the tax on there as well? If we're going to do this all fees included, let's do everything included. We can keep coming down here. We have $453, $444. Look at these places. These are all really cool places that you may want to stay. Some of these even include a pool, free steam plus pool. I assume a steam room plus a pool to use. And so you're getting essentially what you were getting at that hotel, but you have a completely private space. Let's just click on this one. I don't know these people. I don't know this listing at all. This is just a random selection. And look at all the things that you have. You have a real living room with a couch. You have a real kitchen here that you can make food if that is your thing. Some people don't want to do any food when they're on vacation, so I understand if that's not your thing. But if you do, like a lot of folks, and if you have kids and you're traveling with kids, it's ridiculously expensive to eat out. You got a kitchen. Looks like this is the pool facility. It is far nicer than the place that we were at. Not to, to hammer on them. Maybe they just recently had to shock the pool. I don't know. The bedrooms are private here, and they look like they are, pretty nicely appointed. The bathroom, it's gorgeous. Not that the place at the hotel, it was actually a very nice bathroom, but there was, there was only one of them, and it looks like there's 2 here. And so what you are getting for your $603 a night, And let's go see what the actual price would be. $652 for 4 nights. So, we're just over $150 a night. That would have been a much cheaper, a much better experience with better amenities and more things than the hotel could provide. Now, obviously, there's going to be some differences. If you're renting a gigantic house, it's probably going to be significantly more expensive than that 1 room plus bathroom hotel room. But that is to be expected, that when you're getting that much more, that is going to cost more than that hotel room. And I'm going to venture to say that if you have the money to spend on that you are going to have a much better time at that much larger place with much more space, more privacy, and probably a better view and location, unless you are wanting to be right next to something that a hotel just happens to be positioned next to. That increase in cost is going to be far more valuable to you than saving, $100 or $200 a night on a hotel room. So guys, what do you think? Do you think that Airbnbs are still not worth it compared to hotel rooms, especially given the examples that I gave you guys here today on a non-vacation town with a direct comparison of a hotel room versus multiple Airbnbs? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like this type of content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe down below for more, and I will see you on the next one.